Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I am so excited about our guest today. We have Barry Knudsen with Six, and I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time. We finally did it. I'm so excited about that, so stay tuned. Watch here in just a moment for that. You know, you may be thinking, where do I go on vacation? Or you maybe didn't even plan a vacation because you just didn't know what to do with the coronavirus and whether you go somewhere or whether you don't. And so I just want to encourage you to come to Branson, and there's a lot here to do, and a lot of times we talk a lot about entertainment here, but there's also lots of outdoor activities here that you can do as well. So if you want to golf, we have some really national award-winning courses here. That's what I was looking for. You also have the lakes. So we have Table Rock Lake, we have Taneycomo Lake, we have Bull Shoals. So if you like to fish, great place to fish. If you want to get out and jet ski, you want to wakeboard, you want to ski, or you just want to lay out on the mat and just relax and bask in the sun, you can do that all here in Branson, Missouri. And that's with all the shows, with the attractions, with Silver Dollar City. And so there's just so much here to do. So if you're like, I only got a couple weeks left to plan before we take the kids back to school, come check out Branson. We'd love to have you here in Branson. Okay, got a couple dumb questions. Here they are. What is it that when things get wet, why is it that when things get wet, they get darker, but water is clear? Interesting question. If money doesn't grow on trees, then why do banks have branches? This is a really interesting one. Mark, you're going to like this one. Mark's off. He laughs at my jokes. He's probably like the only person that does. But did Noah have woodpeckers on the ark? And if so, where did he keep them? That's an interesting question. Yeah. Okay, folks, we'll be back in just a second with Barry Knudsen. Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, and I am so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I have Barry Knudsen with Six here. And Barry, I've been trying forever to get you on.
Well, I'm glad I finally was able to make it. I know. I actually was unaware. And my wife told me, Chris has been trying to get you specifically. I said, me specifically?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm flattered and I'm honored to be here.
And I talked to your brother, Kevin, and I said, Kevin, I've got to have Barry or Curtis. Now, Curtis I used to live next to, but he still hasn't been on the show either. Right. So you're here, and that's the cool thing. So
it is the cool thing, and I apologize. I forgot to bring this up. I should know better.
Anyway, it's okay. So you've been performing for a long time now, and you're a seasoned performer, not only in Branson, but before that. And so maybe there's somebody watching out there today that is like, they've never seen Six, they've never heard of Six, they don't know anything about you. Okay. So tell people, like, give them a little history about the background.
You bet. Okay, so 1975, summer, school is out, we're ready to go play and have a ball. I was barely a teenager, and our dad says, guys, you're going to learn to sing this summer. Back then, the Osmond family, and there are probably a lot of younger people that may not even know who the Osmonds are, in the 1970s and even 80s.
They're huge.
The Osmond brothers were huge.
Very big.
International stars. And so our father, inspired by their story, I think he just heard us. We would goof off around the house, just making up songs.
But big family.
Big family, yes, that's
big
right.
Family.
Almost forgot. We wound up with 10 boys in the span of about 17 years.
That's a big family, yeah.
Because our parents kept trying for a girl. So he got us started. We were too poor to afford instruments, And so he was familiar with barbershop harmony. People probably remember the old barbershop quartets from the turn of last century. And so he went and bought a barbershop arrangement book and started teaching us songs. And I remember it was kind of exciting, but I remember as he was one of the first days, and it was like 8 hours, he just sat us down. And we didn't know how to read music. We had a beat up old piano. And so he sat and started plunking out each individual part one at a time. And so we'd go a few measures at a time, each brother learning their part. We'd back up, we'd put it together, and then we'd go forward some more measures at a time. And so it was a very long and painstaking process. He also, I remember he also told us, do not sing like mice. So from the very get-go, we learned how to just sing out. Because we frequently had to sing without mics. We'd show up to a small gig and just sing acoustically for a small group. So time went on, a few years passed. Oh, here's something fun. 1977, we had met a gentleman who had wanted to manage us. And incidentally, he had actually played Santa Claus on a few of the Osmond family's Christmas specials. So he arranged for us to sneak in, and they were having a family Christmas party at this apartment complex they owned back in one of the big conference rooms. And they had this little kitchenette area. So he snuck us into this kitchenette area, our entire family. By that time, there were 9 boys, and our mother was pregnant with the 10th son. So we sat there huddled in the back of that kitchenette, and Santa Claus came out, and he went through all of them, and he pulled out gifts from his bag, and he gave them to everybody. And then he gets to George and Olive Osmond, the parents of the Osmonds. He says, I've got a special gift for you. He says, we're going to take you, I've got this magic camera, and we're going to take you back in time. But first, I'm going to need a Verl. Verl was the oldest brother. He was one of the 2 deaf brothers who were unable to, or hearing impaired, we say nowadays. And so I'm going to need a Verl. So I run out because I'm the oldest brother. Then he says, we need a Tom. Kevin runs out. He's second oldest. And then he started going down through the line. Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, Donnie. Then he gets to Marie. And he's gotten through all the boys, I think, by about that time. And Mom comes waddling out. I don't know, just so big. I don't remember how pregnant she was. And she says, we're working on it. So we sang a few songs. By then we had learned some choreography. We were fortunate enough to run into a fairly prolific choreographer there locally. And she taught us a bunch of moves, and we did them. And afterwards, Merrill approached our father, and he said, we'd like to give these boys the same chance that Andy Williams gave us. So they got together.
That's a great story.
Isn't that awesome?
That's a great story.
So we appeared on their television show clear back in May of 1978. Nothing much came of it because they'd already seen the Osmonds doing barbershop. But we've been going since then.
Yeah. Now, when you first started, did you ever think you would spend like your career in the entertainment business?
No. In fact, I had difficulty accepting the career. I probably did, more than any other brother, what I could to avoid practicing, getting together. But our father, he was fairly strict.
Yeah.
And he knew how to influence us to get together. So at one point, I was going to become a clinical psychologist, and I started to pursue that in my mid-20s. And it just didn't really work out, and so here we are now.
Now, as the oldest brother, do you take on like a role or responsibility that the other brothers don't have?
That's a great question. I am not the stereotypical oldest brother. I learned about age 12 how to get out of babysitting responsibilities for my younger brothers. I did such a lame job that Kevin, the number 2 brother, he ended up being that way. And Kevin just, his personality and my personality are diametrically opposed, but we're some of the closest brothers. And we've kind of been some of the leaders of the group, but he's more of a take charge kind of guy. And I'm okay to just kind of settle back and just kind of hang out in the background. And sometimes if things aren't quite going the way I'd like them, then I'll speak up. But
so it's like, okay, once you speak, now we got to listen. Hey, folks, we'll be back in just a second with more Barry Knudsen.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Hey folks, we are back with Barry Knudsen with 6. Now Barry, you're talking the history. The Osmonds helped you get the start in some essences.
yes.
But you guys have done a lot of stuff. Like you were out in LA, you've performed with a lot of other performers, and so eventually you come to Branson. But kind of give us a brief overview of kind of that time frame.
Let's see if I can do that, put about 30 years into just a few minutes. So the barbershop group was done. We'd already been through about 12, believe it or not, 12 different configurations of a barbershop quartet with the 6 of us brothers. So far, we had not been a sextet, 6-man group. So the group broke up middle of 1986, and then Kevin, who had moved out to Southern California, number 2 brother, and gotten married, and already had a child on the way, he said, "Guys, what are we doing with our musical talents?" We said, "Well, I don't know." I was busy, believe it or not, delivering singing telegrams. And that was an experience in and of itself. So he says, "Guys, come out here. I've seen a bunch of street performers on Venice Beach and here in downtown Los Angeles at some of the performing arts theaters and other venues like that." So 3 of us packed up this beat up old pickup truck with just a couple of $100 in our pockets and a few clothes on our backs and maybe in a couple of backpacks, and we headed from Phoenix, Arizona out to Southern California. We ended up sleeping in a park and ride parking lot for a few different nights. And it was fun waking up with little red bugs all on us in the morning. Anyway, we started street performing in front of, we went to the Los Angeles Performing Arts Center, and we'd wait for the shows to get out. And as the patrons were coming out, we'd set up this little hat right in front of us, and we'd break into a song, and people would stop and they'd throw money in, and that's basically how we lived.
Yeah, that's how, and so the rest is history, so to say.
The rest is history.
And so how long have you been in Branson now?
We got here October of 06.
06,
and
so
the first show was November 2nd.
Okay, so almost 14 years now total.
It's amazing. Isn't
Yeah, and so this year you guys just opened up a couple weeks ago over at a new venue.
Yes.
And so tell people about the show, kind of the changes going on, that type of thing.
Wow, how do you... Well, number one, we are an a cappella group. In fact, we've been able to determine we are the longest running a cappella group in the world with original members. We're also, as far as we know, the only 6-brother a cappella group. As a matter of fact, we're some of the pioneers of a cappella, kind of a cappella show bands. So we've been developing a show. We were in Vegas for a few years, headlining a variety show there before coming here. And the producer of the show made sure to teach us how to put on a great show that keeps the audience riveted from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so we came here, and each year we keep some familiar stuff for the people that like to come back and see some of the same things. And then we learn new material. And this year we are at Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater, and it's a wonderful venue, beautiful to come to, and we're just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The shows are going great.
Any new things in the show you want to tell us about?
Should I keep it a secret?
I don't know.
You know, we've been wanting to learn one song in particular that a lot of people, particularly in this area of the country, love. We all know Mercy Me.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I can only imagine.
Oh, that's a good song.
So that will be at some point in the show.
Okay.
We learned a couple of other new ones.
So he's not going to give it all away, which is okay because you salt the crowd and then you pull them in.
Right.
And that's what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, that's an entertainer. I love it. Okay, I have to do this.
Sure.
I found this on the internet today.
Oh boy.
And so I got to show this picture.
Look at that.
And so this was on your Twitter account.
Yes.
Now you're not a big Twitterer, I realized. You only have like 3 posts. And so I'm like, pretty cool hair. But I was almost beginning to wonder if you were going to show up like this.
Right.
Because I haven't seen you for a while.
No, yeah, like everybody. I've been
in quarantine. But this isn't real, is it?
No. So I enjoy downloading these apps onto my iPhone, and one of them, despite its controversy, was FaceApp. I think a lot of us know about FaceApp. There was controversy months back, but it's got a lot of fun things you can do, and it had some hair in there. So I went ahead and just plastered it on, and it seemed to make it look really good.
Okay, just so you can see it again.
I wish I could look like that.
There we go. I think it's cool hair. I like it. I like it. I wish I could grow hair like that, actually.
Thank you.
Okay,
Right.
so then I found this one. I'll let you see that one. Now I'll show the thing. And so this is when there's 5, not 6 in there. But
1993.
I'm guessing that's you with the beard.
Yes, it is.
And so we're missing a brother.
That would be Curtis, number 6.
Okay, so this is Owen down here at the bottom.
Can you believe the amount of hair he's got in that?
Yeah, because at first I'm like, is that Curtis or not? You know, so of course Kevin doesn't. His hair's not standing up in there, but you know, it's pretty interesting what you can find on the internet. Like you can find a lot of stuff. And you're like, Like I found a Knudsen Brothers CD that I could buy on Amazon, and it was like $35.
I know. I found one
it was
for
crazy.
90 something, and I'm thinking, we're not famous.
Yeah.
You think you can get $95 for it?
So when you talk about a cappella, one of the things is when you come to your show, you feel like there's a whole band there.
Right.
Like, and so each brother's doing something different, but you're doing it all with your mouth. There's no tracks. There's nothing. It's all live. It's all original.
Right, right.
And that's what also makes it unique is because you're like, there's a whole band up there, and it's just you guys doing the stuff with your mouth.
Right.
So
what we've been able to determine just through experience is if you go to just about any show that's produced well, it can draw you in. And so thankfully we've had wonderful producers work with us over the years and show writers, and they would write the show in such a manner that it would draw people in to where the brain kind of almost starts filling in the instrumental type sounds.
yeah.
So it kind of just,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's almost a hypnotic type of thing. And we don't mean to do it, but it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and every brother has their own unique personality, and it really plays out well in the show. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've done some Michael Jackson in the past, right?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes.
And so you can sing high.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I don't know if it's in the show or not, but it was pretty awesome when I saw it. So, show-wise, I'm seeing here you guys are doing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8.
Yes.
And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 3. So 6 shows a week.
5 actually.
5,
right now.
okay.
A wonderful group, Buckets and Boards.
Okay, that's right.
Those in Branson here know these 2 great guys.
Yeah.
And so they're taking Thursdays.
Okay.
Other than that, yes, the schedule is that way.
Okay, and so you guys are going to be performing all year, going to the end of towards the end of December, and they can come see you guys over at Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater. And a lot of times when I come to the show, I hear stuff in the show I don't hear anywhere else in Branson, and I'm guessing that's going to be the case this year.
Yes, we try and make a combination of things that we like, enjoy performing, and also we try and pick out songs that were at least top 5 hits or better. And often we'll look for songs that have been re-released.
Yeah.
A few times.
Didn't you guys do Jump by Van Halen?
We did, and you know what? We brought it back into the show this year.
I got another show. There we go. That was an awesome song, great song, and you guys have done, when I saw it last time, it was great. So, folks, here's the deal. Go see 6 at Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater. Barry, awesome having you on the show today. Thanks for coming.
It was a pleasure.
I feel like we could have talked like another 20 minutes. I really do. So you're going to have to come back. And so I'll have to work the next 3 or 4 years to get him back. So we'll be back in just a moment. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're wrapping up the show today. Loved talking to Barry. I love the story about their family and the Osmonds. You're not going to get that on stage. You're only going to get that on shows like PlayBranson. Silver Dollar City, if you didn't know it, has a new ride called Mystic River Falls, $27 million investment. It's got one of the biggest drops for a raft ride in the country. As we're filming this, of course, if you didn't know, Silver Dollar City is requiring masks, and they're taking those necessary safety precautions out there. But they're open, and they're ready for guests, and so you may want to go check out that ride out. They also have a new barbecue restaurant out there by the ride. I want to check that out myself. So watch us next week. Be sure to go to our Facebook page, like us there, check us out on Instagram. And if you need help planning your entire Branson vacation, go to ibranson.com, or you can call those folks at 877-ENTERTAIN. They'll take care of you. And come on to Branson. We need you in Branson, and you're going to have a blast while you're here.